See it.
Cris, what is up, dude?
No shit, what's up, y'all?
Brother, thank you very much for taking the time tonight. Golly, I can't wait to be able to dig into some of this stuff, dude. As of recently, Tomb Sentinel is the gym jam. You know what I'm saying? Dear fucking Lord. Get some benching going, get
Yes,
some
sir.
calisthenics. Golly. Man, no, thank you very much, dude.
Yes, sir,
This is sick. We
absolutely.
appreciate the time, dude. Appreciate the time. Um, Jeremy and I have some, we have some questions, kind of open forum too. Of course, just kind of talking music and talking, your journey within things too. My other half here, Jeremy, as well. But this is a lot of fun, and feel free to cut us off at any time if we're babbling on too long of a
Gotcha.
story and you have a little more to talk about. No, where's it all start for you, my dog? You have lots of things that are involved in right now and doing and absolutely kicking with shows. But where does all this start?
I'd have to say my parents playing Metallica for me when I was just a little baby in the crib. Like,
Golly,
favorite band growing up inspired me to pick up a guitar, Like, to this day, they're my favorite band.
man.
Hell yeah.
What about, particular records all these years later? Is there something where, when you were younger, you loved and now you look back, you're like, man, I should have been paying attention more to this record.
Oh, so many, actually, too many to name. Um, for one, The Great Southern Trendkill by Pantera.
Oh, dude,
Fantastic album. Just like
that's so sick.
it's so heavy in its own way. It's one of my favorite albums.
It's
Okay.
extreme as hell for sure.
Yeah.
Like to me, it's their most extreme album, right? There's some just straight up like grind core elements on that fucking album.
Yeah, dude. Suicide Note, what part two?
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah,
starts out just
yeah.
like mean as hell. But shit, reinventing the steel actually had like some of the heaviest riffs on it too. It makes them
Oh man.
disappear. Dude, that song
Oh
is
Holy
yeah.
so heavy.
shit, dude. Oh my
That
god. It's kind of funny with like their whole resurgence too, how like I've gone back and re-listened to their catalog and I'm like, there is so much more than like what I remember initially. Obviously, they're Pantera, that was like, honestly my first concert, my true first concert ever was Pantera, Slayer and
Ooh.
Morbid Angel. And
Ooh.
it was insane, and like but thinking back to like those records and like at that age, I didn't really have a full appreciation. I was
Yeah,
more of a Slayer guy, but
absolutely.
listening to some of those records do and some of like those like uppercuts that they had, goddamn, and even the later stuff with like reinventing the steel.
It's so mean. It's just
Wowee.
so heavy. And like it's not everyone knows like their radio songs and shit, but when you dig deeper into those albums and like listen to the ones that aren't on the radio all the time, you're like, God damn, this shit's heavy. Like abnormally heavy for its time.
Oh, for sure. Like Far Beyond Driven, like that fucking
Yeah.
guitar tone, like just
Slaughtered.
straight up. God damn. And there's some straight up beatdown tracks on there.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing far in advance. I feel like
Absolutely.
they had an idea there. Now, as far as Metallica, like one of those things, I guess I was kind of like alluding to, for me personally, was like all these years later, somehow I've grown more toward like And Justice for All.
Oh, that's
But
my
when I was
favorite
younger,
album of all time.
okay, all right.
Of all time.
Listen, Jeremy, we knew what we were doing. We got a good guy here. Thank God, we got a good fella to have on. Shit.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know, like, I appreciated and loved the album when I was younger, but as far as front to back, listening to, the older records and like, growing up also, loving Metallica, Jeremy loving Metallica, going back and really, listening to those albums, and Justice for All front to back is just like, fuck, man,
So
what a
it's
sick album.
just straight up aggressive all the way through.
Yeah.
Well, besides the one song, the soft one, but whatever.
But still, there's that juxtaposition, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? There's
yeah,
that little
yeah.
part where it's like, okay, a little bit of a breather, we can kind of hang out, and then, oh, okay, we're going to get our asses whooped again.
Yeah.
It goes to live is to die. It goes straight into Dyer's Eve, and Dyer's Eve is Dyer's Eve or Harvester of Sorrow is my favorite song off that album. One of those two.
Dude. I was reading something recently that there was like a list of like the lamest metal songs or something along those lines of all time, and Harvester of Sorrow was on there, and I was like, what?
Man, whoever wrote that listens to
Dude.
Sleep Token probably.
I probably correct.
I was honestly like pretty floored. Like, you know, I mean, Metallica had some stuff. You want to dig into Load, Reload. You know,
Hey, I
like,
love
like,
those albums
hey,
too, dude. Fuck it.
I like them. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not going to say that I sit here and hate it. And even the Black Album, there's some.
Yeah.
Fucking, I mean, absolute
Hey.
like, rippers.
I've come around on the Black Album because I'll be honest. I think I was I was a hater because it gets so played out.
Right.
I kind of got burned on it a little bit. Like, I don't ever want to hear Sad But True again.
Oh, dude, you hear that shit live though? It's different.
Yeah, well,
it's so heavy live.
Like,
but that,
and that's the thing. It's like I saw him live and I was like, that song fucking goes. And then it was just like, but then it's like, and then I'm like, I love that whole album. Like, I mean, like I've come back around. That's probably the album that I've come back around on the most was Black Album because I feel like I kind of like anything but that really. Even Load, I think Load and Reload are great.
So like
Outlaw Torn.
The way I see it, Load. Yeah, fuck yeah, that's one of my favorite songs off of those albums. The way I see it, Load and Reload are not great Metallica albums, but they're great albums. Like if any other band would have put those albums out, they would have been the biggest fucking band in the world. Everyone would look back and be like, yeah, that shit, that shit's awesome still to this day. Everyone wants to shit on it because they just weren't fast as fuck, like their old shit, but
I think we lost. Oh, here we go. We got you back here.
Alice
Good
in
to
Chains,
go.
they're one of my favorites.
Oh,
great band.
Oh, man.
Best out of all the grunge bands. I don't even think Alice in Chains is really grunge, dude. Dirt is a stoner album through and through.
Yeah, they're straight up a metal band in my mind.
Just hard ass rock, dude.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, as far as like, have you listened to any of the more recent Alice in Chains stuff with like that newer vocalist they got?
So there was one. I was like a freshman in high school. It was like the album, the first one. It was a real big thing. My dad like had it, like Black Turns into Blue or Black Gives Way to Blue or whatever.
Yeah.
That one. It was cool, but I was like 14, so like I didn't really get it. I've like tried to go back and listen now. It's not the same. Like it's good for what it is. Don't get me wrong. It just without Lane Staley.
Yeah,
although Jerry Cantrell, that dude is a big part of that band too, and he's a genius in his own right. So
I was gonna say, there's still some, there's some moments where any of the records I wouldn't necessarily say front to back are something that I'm like, hey, I can toss this on and be perfectly happy to let it play through. There's moments, but there are certainly riffs on every one of those albums that they put out where I'm like, oh shit, they still got something going.
Yeah, Jerry's a riffer, dude.
No, it's sick. I've always loved them, and kind of along the lines of what you were saying too. I don't know if I would ever really say that they're a grunge band, even still to this day. Like they always felt so much sludgier and doomier.
Yeah, dude,
sludgy,
doomy. Yeah. That's actually a good way to put it. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, as far like where does this kind of go into you and like picking up an instrument? Is there, like were you involved in band or anything like that?
No,
or
I wanted to riff like James Hetfield did. So I was like 12 or 13 and my parents got me a guitar. I tried picking it up, didn't get it, so I put it down. Then I was like, I think I started taking it seriously. I was like 14, 15. I picked it back up again. I was like, all right, I'm going to learn this shit. I'm still not like the greatest. I got riffs, but I can't shred or nothing like that.
What was that first guitar?
Oh, God, I couldn't.
Dude, for the fun of the story, brother. You know what I'm saying? There's no shame whatsoever.
It was a black Super Strat, man. It might have been a First Act or whatever. I don't know. I can't remember. I just remember we smashed it when I was like 17 and threw it in the creek behind my house. The first big boy guitar I got was a Epiphone Goth Explorer, and that thing was awesome.
Those were sick. That whole Goth series was badass.
Dude, those Goth SGs play like they're amazing for what they are. They're like $400 when they came out, and those things shredded.
Fuck yeah.
I think it's always fun, as far as Jeremy and I touching on these things too, just because it kind of lets like younger cats and someone who's listening to this that's maybe thinking about picking up an instrument realizing that like you don't have to start off with a fucking Gibson. In fact, it's probably better that you don't, because like when you kind of start off and you have like a lower end kit or a guitar that is like constantly bowing out of tune and shit, you're like, I'm gonna make this thing sound cool. Shit, God damn it. Like I gotta get through this. And then finally when you do get something, save up a little or whatever, get something a little bit better, you're like, oh, okay. This is how it goes.
If you can learn on the pawn shop special, man, you can learn on anything.
Right. You don't need the wah-wah pedals and all that shit too, initially. I mean, what was Metallica like an earlier thing that you were looking for as far as playing?
Yeah.
Or learning to play?
Yeah. God, I remember learning, like, I ended up taking guitar lessons for a little bit. I learned the intro to Fade to Black, and then, like, the first couple chords, and then there was, like, Through the Never, and, I can't even remember. There was a bunch. I would just, like, pick different riffs that I could actually play back then, and just play those for hours on end.
Now,
so you'd say you were kind of like a riff guy then, like you more learned through just learning riffs, learning songs. Like that sounds sick. I want to learn how to play.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know shit about theory, like to this day. Like I just write some riffs that sound good.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. With you.
Kind of makes it better, dude. Then you don't get all like nerdy and shit about it. You're just rocking.
Like whatever feels good. Like, you're like, shit, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Sure.
I've tried digging into the theory and stuff because I didn't do anything band wise in school or anything like that. Like I've never learned it, and like kind of like you, I just I learned through like, hey, let me start learning Injustice for All songs. On the old crate combo, with the I had a little PV Raptor series guitar. Fucking thing ripped. No, it was a piece of shit. But anyway, I could learn Injustice for All on it, and that's kind of for me what it was. Is that I was always concerned more with like learning stuff that sounded sick and then writing stuff. So yeah, I never dug into like. I mean, I can play a major scale, but it's like, that's probably about it. The most basic major scale. I'm like, I know it. That's all.
The pentatonic scale and the blues scale, and that's all you need.
Yeah, like that. I mean, everything else, I'm just like, yeah, I guess that sounds cool.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I always find that it's funny sometimes too, where you have that likewise mentality of like, hey, I had this riff, and then there's like these two others, and maybe we can kind of make them work, and then like maybe 45 minutes later, you have like a 2-minute song of these three riffs that just like went together.
Yeah.
And then somebody's listening back, and they're like, oh well, the theory behind this and the A sharp that went into F. It's like, brother, I
didn't get bullied
enough. We sat down.
Oh shit! I mean, that is how it is though. Like I feel like a guy in a band I'm in, his name's Ryan. Like he's a band like teacher.
Yeah,
and he like. And but he doesn't really do a lot of the writing. Like me and the other dude that we don't know shit about theory. We were like, write this stuff, and then he's like, oh, that's really weird. Like there's this thing there, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. It just fucking rips. Like I don't.
Say just like, shut up, nerd. This sounds cool. Fuck it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I mean, what about local like music scene? Like as you were coming up, and as you're kind of picking up playing guitar and shit, like was there, were you finding local shows? Like how was live music kind of coming to you and your line of sight?
So local music when I was a kid, like when I was old enough to be in a band, there wasn't a huge local scene. I'm not from like a big city. I'm from a tiny little town outside of Columbus. Not really tiny, but no music scene.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a few bands here and there, but like they were all like screamo and like metalcore, not the good kind of metalcore either. I just wasn't into that shit when I was younger. I was just like straight Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, just heavy shit. So I didn't really get involved with that. It was, as far as like the local scene, Columbus, I was about 17, 18. I was in a band called Heartworm, and we started playing shows in Columbus, and that's where I met like, I mean, everyone I'm in bands with today for the most part, like Dylan, the singer of Violent Nature and Life of Crime. God, I've known him since I was 18. He was a vocalist in Heartworm for a little bit, for the majority of the time we were a band. But yeah, like I just started like hanging around when I was younger, and it just kind of everything kind of just like fell into place. I've been like 10 bands since then, but
were these cats that you knew from like school, like prior, or was this just from
just meeting them at shows?
Yeah, okay.
Well, I guess Heartworm, one was like my best friend growing up. He played bass, and then it was like a few revolving members, like people we knew that just like wanted to be in a band for fun and stuff, but we wanted to like be serious about it. And it took like, oh God, 4 years before we had like a solid lineup, like me, Dylan, Paul Bolin on bass. And then like, yeah, we were always switching drummers and stuff. That's kind of why we just like called it. You know, we've been through so many member changes. Like, what's the point anymore?
Right. I mean, like, what about like more extreme stuff? You know, like we're talking Slayers and Metallicas and shit, but you know, nowadays when we're hearing something from you, like a Tomb Sentinel, you know, there's some heavy shit going on here, brother.
So, oh man, I got into like hardcore like through bands like Have Heart, Bane, and The Effort. Like not really the heavy side of hardcore.
The Effort.
Yeah, dude, I fucking
Damn.
love The Effort.
Dude, Iconoclast, that intro.
Yeah.
I know that quote is played out now from the network. I know it's played out, but
they did it
I don't
first.
give a fuck. They did it first.
Yeah.
And that might be. I'll just fucking say it might be the greatest intro to an album ever fucking made.
I'm surprised someone else like knew the fucking Effort right off rip like
Were
that.
we just
dude.
talking about this the other day, Jeremy? With that quote?
Yeah. Well, the quote. Like, yeah, when we were driving to that gig in Kalamazoo. Yeah.
Wild.
But like that intro to me, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's played it out at this point, but I don't give a fuck because my guys in The Effort, they did it first. They did it the best, and like I said, I don't give a shit. Like, I will. That's one of the best intros in music I've ever fucking heard.
I've only ever heard 2 albums from them. I don't know if they've ever put anything else out. I really wish they would have because that shit was sick.
Fuck yeah, I love The Effort.
Yeah, they're sick. But like it started with shit like that. I went to a show. I guess I was 15 when I started listening to like Bane and all that stuff because they snuck me into a show. All my friends that I was in a band with snuck me into the show. I was like 15, dude. It was just like the craziest shit I'd ever seen. At this point, the only concert I'd been to was like Rock on the Range, like big arena festival and stuff, you know. So I'd never seen like a real local show. Dude, I walk in and there's just people moshing and shit. I'm like, yeah, this is sick. Well, it just kind of waterfalled. I got into like the heavier side of stuff. Started listening to like death metal, Suffocation, Cannibal Corpse, all that shit. And that the heavier shit I started listening to stemmed from bands like Sodom and Creator. It's like German thrash. It's just hard as shit.
Fuck yeah,
dude. Great roots, yeah, for sure. Any of that stuff. Anytime anything is mentioned, you're saying Suffocation, Cannibal Corpse, you know. And like sometimes those like bands almost sound like the cliche, but there's a reason.
Yeah,
like, there's a reason that motherfuckers like love that shit because they rule. Still today,
like Skinless. I think Skinless.
God,
God,
now we're my favorite death metal band. It's Skinless, Suffocation, Morbid Angel. They're all right there, but Skinless is that shit.
Skinless don't get enough love.
Yeah, dude, they're kind of like hard for a death metal band. Like those riffs could be like in a hardcore show, you know what I mean? And motherfuckers would still go off.
Fuck yeah. They got that Johnny Fetus effect, but I feel like they don't get the same level of love because they've got just some straight slamming fucking beatdown parts, and it's like that album where it's like all the quotes, you know, I mean, all their albums have quotes, but like life sucks and then you die. Is
that foreshadowing our demise?
Yeah,
off that album. I think.
Yes. That album is so good.
Yeah, dude, the first two are my favorite, dude. There's just, what are they, like 98, the first one came out. Like, you had Suffocation and shit, bands like that doing it, but Skinless just hit different, dude.
Yeah, it had, like you said, it kind of had that, like, that edge to it, that, like, it wasn't purely metal.
Yeah.
It kind of had, like, that griminess to it, or that, like, aggression to it that made it have that little bit of that not hardcore, because it's not really hardcore,
just
but
so you could play that shit at a hardcore show.
Exactly.
And still love it.
Right.
Yeah, it still pop off for sure, yeah.
And it's sick to see, you know, like you're having some of these fests recently that are like including like a dying fetus, or, you know, like a cattle decap, you know, like finally, like you're having some recognition of like, yo, I realize that this is death and this is fast and all this, but like,
dude,
these riffs that are in here, brother, you got to slap this somewhere in here, because motherfuckers are getting conked left and right. Bonk,
in the
bonk,
trench,
knocking them down.
Dude, dying fetus.
Good
I'll kick someone in the head to that riff. Shit.
Fuck yeah.
What about records, Jeremy? What do you think? What have we done? Why don't we dig into that? The albums.
Yeah, sounds good to me. To me, this is the hard one. Like, when I get asked this question, and I'm always like, fuck, 5 albums. But that's the challenge is to you. 5 fucking albums, whatever you want.
Like 5 of my favorites.
What do you want to go with? 5 albums you've been listening to lately. 5 of your favorites. Whatever you're feeling. Hey, maybe we do a little bit of both.
All right, we'll do a little bit of both. Okay, I'll give you 3 favorites. And Justice for All. That's number 1.
Right.
Foreshadow My Demise. That's number 2.
Hey,
man.
See, I don't want to throw another heavyish one in there because I listen to like all kinds of shit. So, The Last in Line, Dio.
Oh,
that's
okay.
I love Dio, Ronnie James Dio, even Dio Sabbath, dude. Love all that shit.
Damn.
Heaven and hell.
Dude, you're gonna get us copyright. Stop. It's gonna kick us off. God damn it. You're gonna delete it.
Luckily, I can't sing for shit.
So. Join the club, dude. So, like, some new shit I've been digging. A band from the UK called Blood Fury. They put out a demo in 22, and it's ridiculously heavy. They put out a split recently too with Final Form. I think Final Form's another UK band. I'm not sure on that though. But
Blood Fury.
Yeah,
I'll write that down. I've never heard that.
That's been on repeat lately.
This is, you said it's from UK?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm 99% positive that's UK.
Dude, the UK's been popping off. I mean, the UK is like Ohio.
Shit, if I lived there, I'd be pissed too. I'd be writing hard shit too.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, but the UK, like, some of those fucking Glasgow, like those Scottish bands.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Demonstration of Power. I don't know if you've jammed that shit.
Yeah, Devin is real. I'm pretty sure he's the one that's, like, mentioned them before.
Dude, Demonstration of Power, fucking go.
Yeah, I'll have to check them out. I'm sure he showed them to me. I think that's who he's talking about. He's all into shit like that.
They did a split with Seed of Pain on Streets of Hate.
No,
it's good.
Okay,
it's good
now
shit.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I'll have to check that shit out.
Yeah. So anyway, some other new shit. So we got Blood Fury.
Blood Fury. Maybe even one more. Shit.
Ooh. That new Human Garbage the album they just dropped recently.
I haven't heard of the new one yet.
They rip. You're gonna love that. They're fucking hard. Where are they? Are they a West Coast band?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
I think they're from the Valley.
Valley?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Human Garbage, dude. Just in case.
Yeah, the last couple things they put out have actually been all really sick.
Yeah. The last thing I listened to, they has like the tatted back.
Yeah.
The tatted
back. I think that's not the newest one.
That's the last thing I've listened to is the one that says, I forget, but it's
dude.
Like basically the album covers, like the title is tatted on the person's back. So you say you listen to some other shit, so hey, We got time. So what are some things that maybe you're like really fucking down with that maybe would be off the beaten path, or maybe like someone wouldn't expect, the Reefer from Tomb Sentinel to be like cranking?
Dank Williams Jr.
Hey, dude.
Or David Allan Coe. Any of that old shit like that. I don't like new country. I think that shit sucks. But
sure,
Merle Haggard, stuff like that. Oh man, I listen to everything. Pink Floyd's one of my favorite bands too. Love Pink Floyd.
Same.
It just anything that ain't shitty. Shit, I like shitty shit too.
I do too. I'm gonna straight up just say I realize, and Eric has the receipts to prove it. I think I might love Creed. I know everyone's doing this shit ironically. I think I might fucking love Creed.
I don't think
right here
they're a terrible band. I mean,
I wouldn't
sick,
say they're
dude.
terrible, but the things that you were saying earlier were a little far, though. I disagree with that.
But I don't know. I just think I'm like, I don't fucking hate this. I don't know if I would listen to it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you get a couple beers in me. I mean, I'll dance some Creed. I don't give a shit. I'm not saying I love it, but
I'm not too proud to beg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Same with old Nickelback, dude. Silver Side Up, hard-ass album. Nickelback fucking sucks, but like that album's
Listen,
right.
You know what's funny, though, about that band, and the one thing that I've always kind of had a little bit of a backing to them was a long time ago, they'd done some sort of Roadrunner showcase, and it was like a live playthrough of like a couple of their tracks, and their drummer was just like way too good for this band. And I don't know if it's the same dude still nowadays, but I'm like, holy fuck, man.
Isn't the drummer
everything just like
the singer's brother? Or isn't one of them like brothers with the singer or some shit? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Dude was
Maybe
absolutely in pocket. Everything sounded great. He was hitting hard as fuck. I was like, God damn, dude, like this guy, like, all right, I can go back and like pay attention a little bit to this.
Yeah.
Some of these tunes, kind of have me. You get a couple beers in you.
Like that song's so sick. Another band like that, dude, Theory of a Dead Man, that shit's cool. Some of it.
I would only know the hit. And even right now, it's eluding me.
Yeah, I can't think of what they
Hate My Life. That song's so sick.
I'll crank some on the way in tomorrow morning. I'll be like, I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna cuss my boss out.
Godsmack's that shit. Their first 3 albums are just so sick.
Vampire song? That song goes hard.
Yes, dude. Yes. My dad used to show me.
Riffing.
Yeah, dude. My dad showed me all that shit. Mudvayne, Stain.
Oh, dude.
Dude, Stain, Dysfunction, Break the Cycle. Those albums are sick. Even though, like, dude from Stain now is just like the worst fucking dude. But those first 2 albums
fucking blows.
Yeah, I guess my brother, he played a show in Japan where my brother was stationed at. And, like, I guess he was a dick to, like, everyone there. Like, he was just drunker than fuck. Yeah. Like, I don't like him, but those first 2 albums are sick.
Fuck yeah.
What a
Dysfunction
goes. I'm trying to think. It was on that Break the Cycle record. I'm trying to think of what was that song called? It wasn't the main single, but there was, like, a track where it was, like, after hearing the hook of it, even if you wanted to forget it, it wasn't going to happen. Still to this day, and it was like weeks ago that I heard the fucking song on the radio. I'm like, oh my God, this song fucking rules. Still.
I'll have to pull up the track list real quick because I can't remember the names of all the songs, but I'll tell you some good ones from those 2 albums.
Hold on really quick. Let me see. It was like something like, I just needed someone to talk to. You were so busy for yourself. Remember that song? Dude, I'm telling you, when you hear it, you're going to be like, oh,
I know what you're talking about. It's,
I think it was a Foo Fighters song, man.
You suck a dick, dude.
I'm pretty sure that's on Break the Cycle.
Yeah.
I'm just playing it. I don't give a fuck.
I think it's that song, yeah.
Is it for you?
Yeah, I think so. All right, dude.
Man, you hear that
snare on there?
You hear that?
You know what I'm saying? My brother, we're on it, brother.
Oh, dude, there's a real heavy song on this album. It's called Can't Believe. He's like straight up screaming and shit. When I was like 13, that was my shit, dude. I'm like in my room, like, yeah.
Listen, I had to get the chorus. You know, I'm not a vocalist by any means. You know, I'm not going to pride myself on being whatever the fuck that guy's name, Aaron Lewis. But that hook, I just remember hearing that like as a kid and being like, man, this is like really cool. I don't know what I love about it, but then even recently I heard it again. I'm like, damn, this song fucking cuts, dude.
There's a few good songs off those first two albums.
Sure.
They're sick.
Hey, man, ripping shit just is ripping shit. You're not gonna take it away from it. You know what I'm saying? You can't sit here and fucking try to be fucking covering it up. I just listen to Slayer. Fuck you, dude. Cut it out. That's not true.
Death metal.
If you're telling me you don't listen to Boston, a little bit of fucking Aerosmith, everyone, maybe not Aerosmith. I do.
I don't really fuck with Aerosmith.
I don't fuck with Aerosmith.
Some Aerosmith is sick, dude. Back in the Saddle.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like shit like that. I don't know. A lot of this shit's just meh. Just hear it on the radio. You know, one of those bands you just hear. Like AC/DC, not taking anything away from them, but I hear them on the radio, I turn that shit off. I used to love them, dude, but that's all you hear on the radio anymore. Like the local metal stations, AC/DC 6 times in 2 hours. I'm good.
Do you guys have anything, I mean, as far as like off the beaten path, like local radio stations that play shit other than like an AC/DC, or is that pretty much like what is available? Like even today,
I'm sure there's some out there. I'm not like hip to that shit. I rarely listen to the radio, but I know there was one. It was like a venue. I'm not sure if they played like local shit or metal. I just know it was like there was a venue and we had like heavy shows there. I can't remember what it's called. I'm pretty sure they're closing or something now. I'm not sure what's going on with it.
Oh damn!
It's a Big Room Bar is the venue. I can't think of the name of the radio station it was.
Damn.
But yeah, I'm not like aware of any shit like that around here.
I mean, obviously there's like XM and there's fucking streaming and all this shit, but like there was one day I was driving around and I hear Converge. This is FM radio, and I hear Converge, and I'm like, what is this? What is dude's name, Jeremy, that does the fucking
Travis Dodge.
Travis. Yeah, the Port City thing that he was doing. It was his fucking station. I was like, whoa. Never even thought of anything like that. Like, hey, just have a radio station for an hour and a half and like play whatever the fuck. And it was just, like, honestly insane to hear. I think it was Last Light on the radio. You know, I'm like,
I mean, dude, if you can't tell, I love Converge.
Oh, all right.
I got them tattooed on my knuckles too.
Dude. Yeah, what do you have on your knuckles?
On the bottom, it's All We Love, We Leave Behind. That's sick,
dude.
The top is the Chariot.
Hey,
love the Chariot too. They were when I was like 18, just old enough to get that shit done. I was like, yeah, that fits. I want that shit.
Where do you get introduced to like the Converge, and I mean you mentioned like hardcore and different things like that, but what's like the first memory of like a band like that? Like was it a burnt CD or a buddy's car that everybody's all getting all smoking out?
That's how I found the Effort. My dude burnt me a CD and it had like Terror, the Effort, Hatebreed,
Jesus,
a bunch of like, dude, just like from Have Heart to Hatebreed, like the heavy shit, the melodic shit, like just so many bands. There's so many on there I couldn't tell you the name of, just because it was a burnt CD that he left in my car.
Tell me this is your best friend. If this is the compilation he made you.
He was for a long time, but he moved out to Arizona. He plays guitar in No Zodiac now.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
This dude,
my buddy Dylan.
Rules.
Yeah, he's cool as shit, man. He showed me a lot of stuff, and he's a fucking great guitar player too. That dude shreds.
It's awesome. Yeah, No Zodiac rules.
Yeah.
All right.
Sick.
So you get a compilation CD and have different stuff like that, and was this like a Jane Doe era where you feel like you're introduced as far as something like Converge?
So I found Converge through a lot of hours of sitting alone in my bedroom, just YouTubing music and stuff. Oh man, there was so many bands. Like I can't remember what I was watching, and I seen Converge pop up. I just seen literally it was the Jane Doe album cover. I was like, that looks cool. I'm gonna check that shit out. And like, dude, something just like clicked. I was like, this shit is sick. Like Bitter and Then Some, that's one of my favorite songs to this day.
Yeah.
But then they put out, so through Converge, I found Death Wish, the label, and found a bunch of bands. Like, I'm pretty sure that's how I found Trap Them, like Cult Leader. Well, Cult Leader I found because of Gaza, if you remember Gaza.
Yeah.
They like,
I fucking love,
dude.
I actually booked them back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, we played with those guys in like a library basement. We booked them up here
in Fruitport.
With the band The Network, out of Boston.
What the fuck? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we played. Yeah, Gaza. It was. I had a Utah. It was a Utah jazz rip, and it said Utah Gaza.
Yeah, Gaza's sick as fuck. I didn't know what to make of it. Like when I heard that shit, I'm like, I don't know what this is. I just like the song names, like Canine Disposal Unit. Like that's such a sick name.
Hard.
And it after listening to it, it kind of grew on me, and that's where like the crazier, heavier stuff kind of came from too. Like Trap Them was a big part of it. That's where I like kind of fell in love with HM2. Obviously, like Entombed and Dismember, but Trap Them like did it for me.
Oh, for sure. Like Seance Prime, like all that. Oh god.
Yeah, dude. It was just like the riffs weren't like just heavy riffs. They were like good riffs, dude. They were like rock and roll riffs just over the crazy. Yeah, they had some like heavy riffs and shit. It was the groove and stuff, I guess, that got me.
Yeah.
Like that last album they put out was just like really good. Like Phantom Air or whatever, that song.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
okay.
The intro to it is so sick.
Yeah.
Now you play in music. I mean, let's talk about like the first time that you get to release something. You know, something I think for all of us that we can share. A comparable boner moment of finally having something physical that you played on. You know what I'm saying? You're like, fuck, man, I'm on this. Like, how did that happen for you?
So the first time I actually played on something, I was in a band when I was like 15, 16, and we put stuff out, but I'm pretty sure we didn't use any of my guitar tracks on it because I wasn't the best then. So the first thing I was on was it's got to be the Heartworm EP. We got like cassettes of it and stuff, and like just seeing that, like my name on the folder and like the J card and stuff. I was like, yeah, it's pretty fucking sick. But like getting all these Tomb Sentinel cassettes, the new EP, that was really fucking cool. Like with the Maggot Stomp logo on it. That was like the moment I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I mean, and that label too, like what did we just see? Morbid Visions recently that, even before hearing, I hadn't heard the band yet, and they got the banners all over the amps and the heads and shit. I'm like, okay, well, they're going to fucking rip. And they did.
We played a show with them in Texas on the tour we did last year. Dude, they're good. They just played in Columbus recently. Sick. I couldn't go because I was stuck at work. Imagine that. But it was with Crowbar.
Yeah, we just played with them. It was us, those guys, and Crowbar. Yeah.
Hell yeah. See, dude, Morbid Visions wanted us to play that show, but like, Devin was either on tour or like we did. I don't remember, but we couldn't for some reason.
Super
like,
sick band.
Super
sick people too. That like band is just so sick. Super easy to relate with.
I think we played with them in Texas. It might not have been in Texas. Regardless, it was on tour last year. We played with them.
Right. Yeah, they rule.
Yeah.
And I mean that label putting out the shit that they've, continually still been putting out. I think we're maybe all three of us are kind of at a point where we're like, when are you just gonna put out some bullshit? You know what I'm saying? Like, when are you gonna put out some rascal shit that, maybe made a couple extra $20, $30 extra for you? It's not happening, dude. The integrity's there, man. They're putting out fucking heat over and over.
Speaking of integrity, y'all fuck with integrity.
Oh dude.
Oh, fuck.
Integrity.
Yeah. Absolutely. If they, do they have anything new going on? Or are they just announcing, like, they're playing shows and shit right now?
I think homie lives in, like, Switzerland or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, or some country over there.
Yeah.
Now. Like,
he was on that Snuffed track, but I'm trying to think of like, any record or anything?
Wait, he was on a Snuffed on Sight? Snuffed on Sight? Is that what you're talking
about?
about?
No.
It's a Chicago band.
Oh,
Snuffed.
just Snuffed. I got you. Shit, I didn't even know he was on the track.
Dude, check it.
I'm gonna have
Circle of Dust, I think it's called.
Yeah, Circle of Dust.
I'm gonna
fucking
smoke a doobie and listen to it after this,
dude. No, I mean, as far as like gear, you kind of mentioned, some of the tone with Trap Them and different things like that. Like, bring us into that. When you start kind of really getting into maybe even with Tomb Sentinel, you guys are writing and shit, and like how you're wanting, your sound and how you get it to be that way.
I mean, as far as gear goes, you guys know Lone Wolf Audio. I use a lot of his pedals.
Okay.
Here, I got my pedal board right here. Little sneak peek. That's my HM2 clone that he does. I'll never get rid of that thing ever. And the 6-hammer EQ, and then the Endless Blockade. That's my tone for Tomb Sentinel right there. As far as Violent Nature, I just do that into a dual rec. That's it. Just a tube screamer into a dual rec. Super simple.
Which dual rec is that? Roadster?
No, it's just a dual rec.
Like a multi-watt?
Yeah, multi-watt from 20. I think I got it in 18 or 19. I bought it new. It's I just didn't get this diamond faceplate. I got the black leather faceplate. I had a 90s dual rec. I don't know if it was Rev F or Rev G or whatever. I just know it sounded so fucking good, and I'm kicking myself for getting rid of it. I traded it for a 1974 Marshall JMP that turned out to be a clone. It sounded good, like it sounded good, especially with the HM2. But once I opened it up and looked, I'm like, yeah, no, that's not real. It just kind of killed it for me. Like, it sounded good, but I traded that shit for a 5150.
Yeah.
Damn.
I can't get away
from
the 5150.
Oh, yeah.
Get away from it.
Yeah, dude, you can't go wrong with it. Like, personally, I used one for, the longest time, dude. I've had like 6 or 7 of them. 6505s as well. I had a 6505 Plus. Like, they're all great amps, but
yeah,
I have a dual rec. I literally need nothing else.
Yeah.
I want so much stuff, though. Like, I want a diesel VH4 or whatever it is. Those things are insane. Like, those Pitbull, what is that, a Fryette or whatever?
Yeah,
those things are sick.
Yeah, I'm thinking some Angle shit, too.
Yeah, so our Tomb's other guitar player has an Angle. I believe it's the Powerball 2. It might be the Fireball. I'm not sure. It sounds cool. It sounds good. Like, I like that Angle shit. I think it's a newer one. I'm pretty sure he bought it new like 2 years ago or something.
Now, that head you were mentioning, as far as like it being a clone and shit, like, is there like a following for like certain? Because I know there's different things out there where like you're a collector, and even like a bootleg of it, there's like a certain like a fashion of it that you're looking for that can still be just as worth, or is that something where you see it and it's just like, this isn't even gonna fucking be worth it?
Personally, for me, that's how I feel about it. Like,
okay,
fuck, I want the real thing or nothing. But I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that are all into that. I mean, obviously people build them and stuff, but I feel like that's less of a market, more just like experimenting with building stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. There could be a crazy underground black market for clone amps.
I want that bootleg shit.
Yeah. I guess there's way more obscure fucking odd shit that's out there, that like people are trying to fucking pick up all the time, to where it's like, hey, who knows? Shit. I mean, I guess that's kind of one of those things. And gear. I mean, I guess if I picked up a kit and it was supposed to be a '60s Ludwig, and I peel it open and it's a 2010 Pearl, whatever the fuck, I'm like, hey,
like,
you
what
duped
the fuck,
me,
man?
Yay. Yeah. God.
So what about guitar wise? Like, what is, I think I've been noticing you've been ripping like an LTD.
Oh Arrow. Yeah, dude. Since I was like, well, not the Arrow since I was young, but I love LTD. But I have the Jackson on the wall. That's my backup guitar for Tomb. And then I don't know if y'all can see it, the Kramer V. I just bought that recently. That's pretty sick. Violent Nature, I use the M1000, another LTD. Love LTD guitars. Can't go wrong with them.
Yeah, I remember when.
But that Jackson was too pretty not to get.
Yeah, that is a sick Jackson. I remember LTDs back in the day, like when they came out with like the EC1000 or the Vipers and that, like you couldn't beat them. For like a $500 guitar loaded with EMGs, it was like, this thing is like sick. Like it's like the best guitar I'll ever play.
When I was in that band when I was like 15, I didn't have a guitar that would get down to drop A sharp. So I used the singer's guitar, and it was an EC1000. It was like that quilted, like red.
Yeah.
That thing, it was the first time I ever played one. I'd never touched a guitar that played that good. Like, I went out and bought one. I got the satin black with like the gold outline. I had that for a while. I've had like 4 of those guitars. Like, I always end up going back to one at some point. So I need to get a new one. I need a guitar without a Floyd Rose anyway. All 4 of my guitars have Floyd Roses.
Yeah, I've fallen into that trap. I've fallen into that fucking trap. I wish I never would have like done a fucking dive bomb or anything. Biggest mistake of my fucking life.
See, I love the Floyds. Like, those dive bombs are too good, but fuck, Floyds are a bitch. Took me forever to get to learn how to like set them up and stuff.
Yeah.
And like now, both my bands have like a lot of shows coming up in the next 2 weeks, and I gotta set up all 4 fucking guitars. Like, dude.
Yeah, even when you know how to do it and you have the tools, it's still a bitch. And it's like,
dude.
It's like, it's just different because it's like, and it's more finicky too, because then it's like, you know, if I just my Les Paul, I could be like, you know what? It's tuned. I'm good. I don't need to be precious about it. But the Floyd Rose, it's like, well, shit, I just threw down a little bit too hard tonight.
Dude, you breathed on it too hard when you were setting it up. Now it's all fucked up.
Yeah. So now I gotta work on it a little bit tomorrow in the van and like get it dialed in a little bit. And it's like,
I've got it down to a science now. Like having 4 guitars with Floyds, like I can change one and have it restrung in 10, 15 minutes. But like if I'm changing tunings or string gauge, oh dude, it's an all day process. Like fuck.
Yeah. 100%. Shit sucks.
Yeah, dude.
So, never had to do that.
Never had.
Thank God. I like play with guitar every once in a while, but that wasn't ever like a thing that I picked up on, you know, seeing how anybody ever did, or like, you know, even asking like Jeremy, like, what the fuck are you doing as far as like how any of this works? Like, dive bombs are just so sick to where it's like, hey man, can you just like, I don't know, like, can you just make that sound? Maybe get a pedal that makes that sound if you don't want to have
Whitley. Yeah, dude, dive bombs, they're sick, especially when you use like at just the right time. Like, it adds a whole new layer. It's like, whoa, I'm about to get my ass whooped.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
D-Day.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, shit.
So let's kind of start digging into a Tomb Sentinel a little bit. We've talked a little bit, but, you know, tell us about, like, where's it start? Where's it come from? Like, how does that get going?
So, Tomb started, I wrote 4 songs. I wrote, like, Cop Compost, Romanticized Suffering, Intrinsic Depravity. That was one of the first Tomb songs I ever wrote. We just never released it until recently. And one that we don't use. We played it, like, our first show and don't use. But I hit up Devin, because I've known Devin for a while. I think since I was like 19 or 20. Regardless, yeah, I hit Devin up and was like, hey man, you want to do vocals in this band? Like, it just started as me and him. We never really planned on doing like a bunch of crazy shit with it because, you know, he's busy as shit. But like, we found Paul Bolin. He played bass for us. He's been in a lot of my bands. He's not in Tomb anymore, but he's been in a lot of my bands. And we got a drummer, and like shit just kind of took off, dude. Like, it just started happening. Like, yeah, it was just me and Devin writing shit and recording it in my basement. And then all of a sudden we have a full band and we're like doing a tour and shit. But yeah, that was in 2021. I wrote the songs in like 2019 or 2020, the first 4, but finally got it rolling like 21, I think. My memory isn't the best. Stoner brain.
So So you wrote that. It's funny to me because like, so you had it. Was it like exactly as it is now? Like that song, like you said, you didn't use it right away. So is it like,
Intrinsic?
yeah,
Yeah, dude. Like even the drums for the most part, like I just programmed the drums. Keenan, our new drummer, well not new, he's been in the band for over a year now. He kind of like obviously adds his own flair to it because I ain't a fucking drummer, dude. I can't write drums, but he kept the same feel that I had. But yeah, for the most part, that song's been the same for 3 years, 4 years, whenever I wrote it. And I love that song. It's just so simple, just such a repetitive, simple riff, but like it's the perfect song to hit your friends in the face too. I don't know.
It is. So we did a write up of it around the time it came out, and I remember like that's something I said about that track was just like it is like yeah, that riff drives that song. But
yeah, it's so simple, dude. It's three notes and a squeal.
Yeah,
a pinch harmonic.
But it's that kind of riff that you can just play that riff forever, and you're not sick of it, and you're still just like, man, this fucker goes. Or you can just tweak the drum beat a little bit, and it's
right.
like it
sounds like
that's why the song
whole different thing.
That's why that song's 5.5 minutes long. It's our longest song. It just I kept going with it, like it just worked. You know what I mean? Like Undying Spite is my favorite song I've ever wrote for Tomb. Like just that it's almost like a thrash riff in the beginning, the digga digga dun. Like I love that riff. It's just an open note. Like that's it. It's so sick. I love it.
Yeah, that 808 in that track too. Like every time that thing, I have it in my headphones. All right, yep, there was shit.
I might have went a little overboard with it. I don't.
It's perfect.
I don't normally add shit like that in my music, but it just fucking hits so hard right there. So I don't really know how to mix them. So like I listened on my monitors in my little room right here and stuff, and it sounded good. Like it wasn't loud or nothing. Well, dude, I went and listened in my girlfriend's car because it has better speakers than my truck, and that part came and it was just like, it's like, ooh, yeah, that's a little loud. So I went in and turned it down. I was like, yeah, that's good. Cool, bounce it, master it, we're done. Like, send it out. Yeah, it's a little rough, but it fits.
But to me, but to me, I was just like, I love that element of it, like because it does do that part where because it's not super compressed and ducked in, and like there's not all this studio magic on it. I think it makes it sick.
Because
I agree. Because it's honestly kind of like it's like this isn't a fucking Kanye song.
Yeah.
This is a fucking like you're gonna get your ass beat right now, and so you know what? Yeah, your fucking hoopty speakers just blew out a little bit. It's fine. And then Volcano's right there, and he fucking's going, and it's just like, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck that my sub just blew because I'm fucking stabbing somebody, and I'm probably never coming back from this, and it's fine.
They will never find me.
Hell
yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Maybe that's what I should invest in as a subwoofer for the studio.
But no. So change the story. If that's the result. Change the story. Just you did that shit stylistically.
Yeah, I did it and I meant it.
Yeah, like shit, man. I wanted it to fucking rattle a little bit.
Yeah.
Dude, the whole EP is so sick. Like I've been a fan since around like I think you guys started releasing like Cop Compost came out, and I remember I was like getting into shit then, and I was like, this shit's awesome. I can't wait to see if they do more things. And then you guys, I feel like the new EP got kind of dropped like Sneak Attack.
Kind of, yeah. Well, dude, I finished it last. I think we tracked drums. We tracked drums in February, I believe, of 23. I went home from the studio. We tracked them with Sean O'Shaughnessy in Dayton, Ohio. But I went home and like the next day recorded guitars for it. Devin came over like a couple weeks later, recorded vocals for it. I spent kind of like a month on it because I'm not like a month producing or mixing it and whatnot. I'm not like a audio engineer. I never went to school for this shit or anything. I learned from YouTube videos when I was like 15, and just I'm still learning to this day. That's why it kind of took me so long to mix it. But yeah, we were done with it and sat on it for a long time because we were talking to like multiple different labels about dropping it. Closed Casket. I think Devin mentioned Triple B, which would have been really fucking cool. But we ended up obviously going Maga Stomp. Like, it's Maga Stomp. You can't go wrong with Maga Stomp. But
for sure.
So like Closed Casket's handling the distro and stuff. I'm pretty sure they're getting us vinyl for Endless Anguish soon. Which I want that. I've never had my music on vinyl. I'd love one just to hang on the wall by the picture of our first show.
That'd be sick.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah, dude.
For sure.
So when it goes platinum, you know, I have that.
Fuck yeah, get your hands on a test pressing, then you'd be like,
yeah,
my retirement fund.
Just sell it
there
for
it is.
$420. I'll autograph it.
Fuck yeah. So on that topic, I mean, because like I said, the new, like, you know, it comes out. I feel like it was a little bit sneak attacked on me. That's fine. I'll live with that. But it was so sick, and I was like, man, but like the production. I mean, like truly, like, and so you've been the one working on it. So did you track like you've done the previous stuff too?
No, right? I didn't do the Perpetual Vice. Cody from Sanguine Sugabog did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
so Cody tracked that.
Yep, we tracked drums in his basement, guitar. Yeah, we tracked everything of his. He mixed and mastered it.
Gotcha.
I would have liked to do it with him again, but he was busy. You know, they're famous.
Shit's busy. Yeah, for sure. And that shit sounds great. But this new EP, I don't know, man. Like, you're onto something. Like, you gotta get into the mixing game. You gotta use something because it sounds great. So like, what are you doing? What are you working with? What's your DAW? What's your like?
Logic. I use Logic Pro X because it's the only program I've ever learned on. Here, I can pull up the session files because I couldn't tell you what I used on the mastering chain and whatnot if I can find them.
Yeah, and no pressure. I mean, you don't got to go into all the super detail, but I'll be honest. I'm trying to learn Logic right now. God damn, like I'm a Reaper guy. I can't. I'm like, Logic seems like fucking difficult.
Dude,
I don't know why. It just seems difficult.
It kind of is at first. The biggest thing, like, as far as like using Logic, key commands, and then like a smart mouse for, you know, obviously Mac. That you can't use fucking Logic with a regular mouse, bro. I don't know what it is about it. I can't do it. But here, I'll just pull up. I use like, I don't have really any like physical stuff.
Like
it's all plugins.
Gear.
Yeah, dude. I have like a preamp that I use on my SM7B if I track vocals.
Gotcha.
Like, that's it. It's an Art Pro MPA2. It was like $300.
Yeah,
it's real cheap, but it's tube and it sounds good. So like I use Slate Virtual Mix Rack. That's a big one. I'm pretty sure there's a little bit of a plugin called Decapitator. It's like a saturation plugin.
Sound Toys.
Yeah, that's who it is. Here, I can pull this up. I use a lot of Slate stuff. The Austrian Audio Polar Designer. Sometimes that was on some of the guitar tracks. A little trick for the guitars is this. It's like a Pultec EQ. It's what Metallica did on like the Black Album and stuff. And I learned it from watching a video from Andy Sneap or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like this. It's a plugin. I can't remember. It's Waves plugin. It comes with like the MEQ5 and the EQP1A. Dude, it adds like this gnarly scoop almost to the guitars. It can boost and cut at the same frequency. And like, it just does something magic. That's a big part of the guitar sound. And then
if Andy Sneap's doing it, like, that dude knows guitar tone.
Well, he's using the real like outboard gear, you know.
Sure. But
fucking,
still.
I think the thing's like $10,000 for that Pultec. I don't know. It's probably not that much, but
might be. That's why
I'll pay $50 for the plugin that can do the same damn thing.
Fuck yeah. So, like, but for the most part, would you say, like, when it comes to that side, like you said, audio engineering, mixing, all that, would you, like, is it just solely something you've done for yourself? Have you ever worked with other bands?
I've recorded like a couple friends and shit here and there, but mostly it's just my own for my band, just because it's fucking free if I do it. Like, it's so hard all the time to get into an actual studio because like I work 60 hours a week most weeks in HVAC. But it's hard, just like everyone's adults with big boy jobs. And then Devin is always on tour with his other band. So like it's hard to get into a studio, so it's just easier if I record this shit. I love to get into it and record other bands, but like I don't have the space to. Like my room is pretty much what you can see in this picture. Yeah. I wouldn't feel right charging people to record in a room like this because it couldn't turn out as good as it should, you know?
Yeah.
Like if I had my own space or the money to get my own space, shit, I'd get into that. I'd love to do that as a job.
Well, shit, or just do mixing. Have people send you, be like, hey, you track it wherever and send me the shit and I'll mix it.
I've thought about getting into that, but like the only portfolio I have, you know, like resume is my own fucking bands. And
when it sounds good though, dude, I mean, that's like with the first releases and then hearing this EP, it sounds like a progression, and it's not anything. I mean, on you know, oh boy, as far as like, or you said it was Cody, right? That did the first one.
Yeah,
nothing by any means on him. It sounds like it's a progression of like, hey, this first thing sounded sick. This sounds
well.
Sick.
That's
plus a little sick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's math, boys.
Yeah,
you know, it's math.
Sick plus sick.
I use his mix for Perpetual Vice as a reference mix for this one, and then like I kind of got close to that, like as close as I could with how I recorded it. Obviously, it wasn't exactly the same. I used it as like a baseline, and then just used different plugins and stuff. Found what I liked, what sounded good to me. Like an audio engineer might hear it, you know, someone that's real nitpicky about that shit and be like, oh, you know, this decibel range, it's not good, you know, it's too muddy. Like, I don't give a shit. Riffs go bang, dude. Like,
no, I mean, I'm not here. I'm not here to overhype shit, but I'm just saying, like, truly, dude, like your ability to mix this album, it's fucking top notch. Like it's fucking top notch.
Yeah, it sounds great.
And I'm not like there's like I'm picky when it comes to mixes. I'm not just like, oh, it's heavy, that's sick. It's like a lot of this shit can come off sounding sterile. It just loud doesn't mean heavy or good.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to avoid with it. Like there's like dry death metal and there's wet death metal. Like dry death metal, it's like revocation, like shit like that, just like that kind of production, I guess.
Yeah.
And then there's like the real like wet, thick shit, and that's kind of what I wanted. I really what I wanted to go for. Like, what are you gonna get when you see us live? I just tried to capture that with the recording. You know, I wanted to sound like as real as possible, so it's not super polished. It's not like, I don't know, I didn't go through and EQ everything or like flex time it and line up all the guitar tracks, or there's like some imperfections and shit, but it makes it what it is, you know? Like it sounds like what you're going to get live.
Yeah.
Dude, Jeremy and I are coming to a show in Ohio, and guaranteed we're both going to be wet. I'm going to tell you.
Hell yeah.
This is getting weird.
Coming to? Which show you guys coming to?
Well, there isn't any plans yet. But
Eric's signing checks and our asses can't cash.
We're
niggas look like some fake ass posers.
Listen.
We got a bunch of cool ones coming up here.
Hey,
now's
dude,
the time to get here.
We need to look into this, Jeremy, seriously, because and honestly, like something that I love too is like I have been since a little kid into heavy music. And one of the beautiful things I think about, you know, heavy music in general is that there are a lot of things out there, but sometimes it can be kind of like that overwhelming thing, right? Where you're like, fuck, where does it start and where does it end?
Yeah,
but Jeremy introduced me to Tomb Sentinel, and I'm just like, how did I not hear this? You know, and had to dig back to the first, you know, couple releases and shit. I'm just like, dude. So
pay attention to that Romanticized Suffering release. I can't figure out how to get that fucking thing off Spotify, and it sounds like shit. That's when it was just me and Devin and like programmed drums, dude. We threw up a song to have a song, and now I can't fucking get it off that Spotify and shit.
Listen. You know, I had a conversation with a buddy the other day who was talking about, you know, like the initial demo of something. He was like, you know, I'm not super happy with it, but also like it's that sign of progression. You know, when you have a band and they release their first thing and it's the fucking best A+ top notch,
you can't
it's
follow
like
that shit.
Where does it go from there? When you see something, as far as you listen to something, and it's like, first like demo was like, you know, kind of cool, but then they came with the EP. Holy fuck, dude. and then they released another EP. Holy fuck, dude! It's basic math, boys. Once again,
Sick.
You know what I'm saying?
It all comes back to
sicker,
math, dude.
Holy fuck, fuck.
Follow the money.
It's like the fucking Fibonacci sequence.
Oh, shit.
But
no, seriously, absolutely. It sounds great. It is ripping.
Thank you.
It is, just a hardcore death metal that a cat from either side of things would only ask for.
That's the goal, dude.
Fucking awesome, man.
I love death metal. I love hardcore. Like, I've been listening to both of them for most of my life. Like, I wanted something that like not even like blends it together. It's just like coming back to it's death metal you could play at a hardcore show. Mm-hmm. Like, it's what it is. Like, the hardcore shit's Violent Nature, but like Violent Nature plays death metal shows, so it kind of goes both ways, I guess.
Well, and like going back to bands like Cannibal Corpse and shit like that. I mean, when you listen to those death metal bands, that era, like that shit's filled with hardcore riffs.
Yeah,
totally.
To it, it's like
all day.
It's fucking hardcore.
Yep.
And like to me, at the end of the day, it's like death metal, like that just goes hard as fuck. It'll fit right in with fucking hardcore all day long.
Yeah, and everyone wants to like not so much anymore, but back in the day, I remember when I was growing up, it was either death metal, hardcore, or like deathcore.
One or the other.
You could only like one, bro. If you like anything else, you're a poser and all this shit. Like, fuck that.
I totally agree. I remember being the kid at the hardcore shows with the Metallica shirt, and it was always like, "You're the metal guy."
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I like hardcore. I like all this shit. Like, I
have
like Metallica
hardcore
a lot.
You wouldn't have hardcore without bands like Metallica, like Slayer. And Slayer spawned a lot of death metal bands. Like, you can't have one without the other, and I think it's just kind of stupid not to pay respects to the dudes that were riffing hard fucking 40 years ago, like harder than I ever could.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 60-something years old now, still doing it. Like, you can't not respect that shit.
And just beyond that, back to the camp thing, it's like I like fucking riffs. Like, give me a riff. I don't give a fuck if you call it hardcore. I don't give a fuck if you call it hard rock. I don't give a fuck if you call it death metal.
Yeah, dude.
You give me a sick riff,
dude.
It's all about the riff.
Nothing better.
Like, you can have a great song with like shitty drumming. Look at Lars Ulrich. No, I'm just kidding. But you can't have a great song. You can't have a great song without a great fucking riff.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, you can have someone just doing some shitty drums. Like, obviously drums make a fucking song, but you can get away with.
But even in that statement,
basic drums,
this is coming from.
Fine with a sick riff.
That's where I was going to go.
Sorry,
even myself playing. I was just gonna say myself playing drums. That's one thing I think that I've always appreciated about like thrash, and then like some of these newer bands that are kind of coming back and like resurfacing some of these ideas like Power Trip and some of these Catholic like Fugitive, which are related, but like they have that mentality, where like the riff is already fucking slimy, dude. Give a basic bass, snare, bass, snare. Let that riff just fucking ooze. And it does. Dude. And it's and I mean, like, it shows when they play these fucking songs live, and you have, even outside of thrash, but you have that like almost minimalist concept when it comes to like a riff that needs to shine. Dude, sit the fuck down, brother. I'll play a goddamn hi-hat if you need me to.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes less is more, bro. Let the riff shine for a second, and then you can get crazy technical. The best is when you get crazy technical, then go back into like the riff again, but like the slow part, like let the riff breathe, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Guitar terms.
Hey, I mean, when it comes to writing, I mean, at what point do you just end up with a 9-minute song and you're like, how do I trim this down? You know what I'm saying? With something like that, you're like, oh, this part sounds sick. Okay, now I'm going to slow this down. I'm going to slow it down even more, but then I'm going to bring it back up and then bring it to its slowest point.
So I'm guilty of that shit a lot, dude. Like,
Jeremy and I too.
The harder riff. But like, I don't know. Rarely do I ever write a song that's too long that I have to cut the shit out of. 9 times out of 10, what you hear on like a final recording is how I've just laid the song out.
Okay.
Like,
sure.
I write in a weird way. Like, I'll sit and record a riff and then kind of like build off that, sometimes I'll go back and scrap that riff. But like I pretty much piece a song together from start to finish. I don't really go back unless it's something that like I don't know. I'm bad at writing songs, like, but somehow make it work. You know what I mean? Like,
so you're saying you stick with, like, when you start the thing, you kind of stick with it, and if it doesn't turn into a song, it kind of just fucks off.
Yeah, kind of. I might like come back to a riff a couple months later because like sometimes you just burn yourself out on that shit, just listening to it over and over, like, eh. But yeah, 9 times out of 10, I just like one riff here, build a riff off that riff, maybe come back to the first riff, build a riff off that riff. Like I try not to repeat parts of songs. I like to keep it flowing. So like obviously Intrinsic Depravity, that's 2 riffs for the majority of the song, but it worked. You know, it still flows. I just like to pack as many riffs as I can in a song because I got riffs. I like riffs.
Fuck yeah. Riffs are good.
Riffs are sick.
So do we. Yeah, I was gonna say so do we. So do we. I mean, like, how does that bleed into now? Like, there's kind of a different thing you got going on as far as with like Violent Nature. I'm sorry, Life of Crime. Yeah, like, were you initially in Life of Crime, or did you just like recently join?
I joined in October of 22, I think, or like August, and I played my first show in October. I didn't write anything for Violent Nature. That was all Tom, Izzy, and I believe
for Life of
Ryan.
Crime, correct?
Yes, Life of Crime. Tom Codis wrote most of this stuff. I think Ryan, their old guitar player, might have wrote a couple. I'm not sure. But the songs for Sin, Strength in Numbers, that was a song I started writing for Life of Crime, but it was like right at the end, so we're like, let's use this for this new band. Yeah, I didn't write anything for Life of Crime. I just showed up, learned the songs, and riffed.
Okay,
yeah,
got you.
Yeah, I had never heard of I'd heard of Life of Crime, but I'd never really like seen or gotten too in depth. And like I was saying in the questions there, like when I saw you guys at Sweatfest like 2 years ago about Grand Rapids, like I was like it. But to me, like I said, straight up stole the show. Like I was like, this shit is heavy.
Yeah, dude, like, Tom's got riffs, man. Tom's got riffs.
Yeah.
Like that's some of the shit I'd only heard like a little bit of their songs. Like Tom was showing me some of the shit they hadn't released yet. I was like, God damn, dude. Like it was like 8080 and the other one, I can't remember the name of it. They like released. It was with the Split with Salt that we did.
Oh, okay.
Tom came over and we like demoed the guitar for that at my house. And I was like, yeah, this is sick. Like I didn't write anything on those, but like he just pulled those riffs. I was like, hell yeah. Yeah, dude, Tom's got riffs, man.
Yeah, they fucking, there's some ass beaters just all throughout it. It's
he's
so good.
He's into like a lot of the beat down stuff. Also like the fast thrashier shit, like he loves Trapped Under Ice and shit, and that's where I think he drew a lot of inspiration from for a lot of the riffs and whatnot. But yeah, man, he's got riffs.
So that's what I was wondering, because like I know that Violent Nature shares some members. So like, and then Life of Crime, you guys played your last gig at Dirty Dungarees in September.
Yes.
And then Violent Nature kind of pops up. So I guess my assumption was always just like, oh, they kind of just made a new project out of Life of Crime, but I don't know. So I'll let you answer that.
Okay, so Life of Crime kind of just like fizzled out. Everyone was on a different page, kind of, and like some members couldn't get their shit together. I guess not like in a bad way. They just had more prevalent issues to worry about than like being in a band. So like we decided like we didn't break up or nothing. We just like put it on hold. But we needed something to do in the meantime, and like I had at this point like 3 or 4 songs wrote that like. We're like, well, we're not using it for Life of Crime, so, let's start this band. So LOC members, Dylan, vocalist, and Izzy, the bass player from Life of Crime, he plays bass in Violent Nature. Graham is our other guitar player. He was in the band Darkroom He is also Tomb Sentinel's new bass player.
Okay.
But he plays guitar in Violent Nature. And then, Colin, our drummer Colin, he wasn't in Life of Crime. So it's just me, Dylan, and Izzy from Life of Crime.
Okay.
So we have Sin is out now, right? What's the plan for Violent Nature?
I'm pretty sure we have a single dropping Friday at noon. I want to say we have a single dropping Friday at noon. I can tell you the EP comes out July 11th. I want to say don't hold me on that. I think it's July 11th.
We'll just keep our eyes
peeled. Our release show is the 18th, I believe. July. I think it's with Bulldoze.
Yeah.
That show at Ace of Cups with Tomb Sentinel as well. I think that's July 18th. I'm not good with dates. If it's not today, tomorrow, yesterday, I can't tell you.
Sounds about right. July 18th or 19th.
Maybe the 19th. I think it's the 18th.
We can go anywhere between the 10th and the 20th. I feel like
July.
Somewhere in there. Hey, don't
shit's dropping.
Be fucking lazy. And how about you just, if you're interested, how about you just look?
Yeah.
Just get your ass on the internet and fuck it.
Ask Jeeves. But no, I'm pretty sure. Listen. I'm pretty sure it comes out the 11th of July.
That Strength in Numbers single, I feel like, brings out the inner grandparent in me, where I book you guys and I'm gonna hear that song start and I'm gonna look at the room and be like, hokey pokey. I am gonna lose this place. I'm gonna lose my deposit,
dude.
Everything is going to go all wrong. And hey, in the hardcore community, you can't hear a better compliment, dude.
Yeah, right. Well, that's every time we play that song. So, we have no other songs out, right? So, motherfuckers don't know the words and shit. Don't know when the next riff is and whatnot. But when Sin comes on, they know what the fuck to do. I don't know if y'all have seen the videos from our 2 shows.
Wild.
At Dirty Dungs. Bro, everyone in the room on fucking top of each other. We like to joke around. That's fucking Columbus's anthem.
Dude.
But yeah, motherfuckers go crazy for that shit. I'm so excited to play it in a city other than Columbus to see how the reaction is. That's why we're trying to hurry up and get this shit out.
And dungarees too, what a convenient spot to get all dirty and messy just to be able to wash your shit if you need to.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't wash shit there, I'll tell you that right now, bro. I'm a dirty motherfucker, but I wouldn't put my shit in them washers. It's got a nice smell to it in there. It's not always bad, but once it gets packed with motherfuckers, dude, it gets ripe. Sometimes you'll have homeless people walk in and just hang out, check out what's going on. Dude, they are ripe.
So the 2 pro tips I have right now that I'm taking from this: 1, the pull tech tip for mid-range on a guitar. Do not fucking wash your clothes at Dirty Dungarees.
Might be 1 or 2 washers and dryers there. I'm just saying, I've never seen one of my friends put anything in any washer there. So I just the
name is literal. Just when you're literally when you're done washing your clothes, you'll have some fucking dirty ass dungarees. You think it's the other way around, but they're being honest. I can appreciate that.
Yeah. Hey. Nah, I mean, dude, that place is sick. It's been one of the best things to happen to Columbus scene in so fucking long.
What a staple.
Honestly, I want to go to the torture gig so bad.
Oh, dude. I don't even want to fucking imagine that. There's a couple crazy ones we have to announce at Dungs. There's a couple crazy ones coming up.
I want to get to it. Eric, that's what we're going to do. And maybe shit, we got to make a plan to get to a gig.
When is this again?
Series.
I know what you're talking about.
So one of them. They're going to have more. They're going to have more.
Oh, yeah.
But the torture gig, though, I'm talking.
That's
when is that?
Next Thursday.
The 16th. So
next Thursday. I'll have to look and see if I have the fucking day off.
My schedule's fucked now. I can't go to that one. There ain't no way. I would know if I could go.
Tomb Sentinel. Okay. Tomb is playing Ace of Cups the day after that. Also the Torture show, there's a surprise band. We can't tell you who it is, but there's a surprise band on that show. So the 17th, after the Internal Bleeding show at Ace, there is an after show at Ace that Violent Nature is playing. 2 bands
Hey.
So you guys know what Sonic Temple is, right?
Yeah.
So it's that weekend. There's 2 bands that are playing Sonic Temple that night that are having an after show at Ace of Cups that asks Violent Nature to play. I can't say who they are, but everyone knows. Everyone knows one of them. It's 2 words. Everyone knows one of them. They're playing Sonic Temple. That's the only hint I'll give you.
Dude.
It's going to get announced soon, but it's 2 really fucking sick bands.
Censor yourself, Jeremy. One thing, between knowing Jeremy and I, he has to sometimes cover his mouth because things just come out. Jeremy, don't do it. Don't ruin it. We have to keep. See,
you can guess all you want.
No,
yeah, don't do it. We're not going to, gentlemen. We're gonna keep this a gentleman's sport. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep it. Damn, that's so sick, man.
I mean,
what a fucking treat.
You guys got a lot of good shit lined up. Yeah, you got that, like, the Tomb Sentinel run. You got the first gig with Internal Bleeding.
Yeah,
I believe that's with Mutilation as well.
Yep. And Rejoice, Mutilation and Rejoice.
Oh yeah, Rejoice. They're DGR, right?
Yep. Speaking of Mutilation, though, that's my favorite Ohio band.
It's my
yes, sir.
I think they're my favorite band.
They're so good, dude. Like, they're so good.
Fucking rule.
Like, I've been fortunate enough. Like, we played with them up here. I booked them up in Grand Rapids. I love the dudes. Clay is he's top 5 drummers of all time for me, honestly.
He fucking animal, bro. I remember we Heartworm toured with them in 2017, them and Domestic Terror.
Okay.
And, like, I'd never heard of Mutilation. I mean, like, I've heard of them. I think I actually might have seen them live before. I was probably outside smoking or some shit. So, yeah, this was 2017, so I was 21, so I was still a little fucking hoodlum. I remember being, like, insanely fucked up when they played. Just, like, I'm pretty sure it was at the Ottawa Tavern in Toledo or whatever. Yeah. I think that's where the first night of tour was. We opened, and then Mutilation played after us, or they might have played last. I don't remember, but I remember hearing that. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, that shit it blew my mind, and I've just been, like, a huge fan ever since, dude. Yeah, they're my favorite Ohio band through and through. One of my favorite death metal bands.
Yeah, no, I love that band. I actually, like, I heard them, I loved them, and then I actually drove all the way out to Youngstown to Into the Darkness Fest. Checked them out there, and that was the first time I saw them, and I was just like, kind of, one of those moments where you're like, I hope they fucking rip as hard as they do on album. Like, I hope they're legit. And as we all know, they're too legit to quit. They're too legit to quit.
Yeah. If they wanted to, they could be the biggest fucking band in the world. Bro. I swear to God. They're so good.
And every time. Like I said, Clay, that dude, because they are that perfect storm. Pat has, like, the sickest fucking riffs you'll ever hear with his weird jazz brain. and then Clay is the sickest fucking drummer ever. Yeah. Like, I just love that dude. I could watch him play drums for fucking years.
It's mind-blowing.
And then you just
I'm not a drummer.
And then you got Eli hair whipping the whole fucking time with the sickest bass tone. The sickest bass. Like, I could talk forever about that fucking band, but yeah.
For
love
real.
These guys.
I just remember hearing that shit, and I'm just like, goddamn. Goddamn.
Life goal.
Yeah, dude, that was a fun little run, man. I get to see them every night. I think it was like 5 days. Seeing them every night, I was just like, goddamn.
Never got old.
No, dude, I could watch that shit for 60 nights in a fucking row, dude, and never get tired of it.
My neck would be tired of it, but
yeah.
Fuck it.
Well, it's like the same with Bog, dude. Same with Sanguisuga Bog. They just get better every time you fucking see it. I'm not just saying that because they're the homies. Like, dude, they're just so fucking good. Like, especially live. I don't mosh much, but when they play A Lesson in Savagery, I'm out there.
No, it's insane. Yeah, like the first time I caught those guys was out in Vegas at Psycho, and I was like, it was like 1:00 in the afternoon in a big ass ballroom, and it didn't matter. I was like, it was fucking instant party, instant fucking ass beater, and then seeing them on the release weekend in Grand Rapids with Internal Bleeding, it was just like, I've seen Meshuggah, and that's fucking heavy.
Yeah,
I mean they've got those big of balls. Like,
dude, for real. Like, you got to think of, like, their instrument section. Fucking Cody, Seth, and Drew are 3 of the best musicians I've ever seen. Like, Cody is an evil wizard, bro. He is a genius.
He is.
That dude can shred any instrument you put in front of him.
Yeah. And and I was watching the gutted shit, and I was like, I honestly didn't realize he was like as good at guitar as he is too.
Yeah, dude. So I know Cody from a band called Crewneck. If you remember Crewneck, it's just like HM2 hardcore heavy shit. It's really fucking good. He did vocals and played guitar in it, and that's Heartworm played a couple shows with them. Their drummer ended up drumming for Heartworm for a little bit. But yeah, dude, Cody fucking shreds, bro.
Fuck yeah. Man. Ohio's got something. You guys, I mean, I don't know. You guys are fucking pissed about something. Corn. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Well, I mean, Ohio fucking rules, dude. Don't get me wrong. But, like, there's not a lot to do. You can either go to, like, some parks or you can go to a city. I don't know. It's cool, man. I like it because the fishing's good, the hunting's good, and the music's good. So, and it's not crazy expensive like California and places like that, although I'd love to live in California, dude. It's just too fucking expensive.
Cost of living, man. Yeah, I lived in D.C., and that shit was for the birds.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine.
I'm good on that.
Even, like, Columbus, you get closer to Columbus and shit. Like, I still live in Lancaster, dude. I'm like an hour south of Columbus, 45 minutes or whatever. Columbus is even, like, expensive, dude. It's just anywhere close to the bigger cities.
Right. I think there's, there's something even along with and overly I can say too high like Ohio, but like there's something like Midwest. You know what I'm saying? Like I love East Coast shit. Don't get me wrong. East Coast hardcore, New York hardcore, like very near and dear to my heart. West Coast shit. You have some of the most iconic bands that you can ask for as far as hardcore, but like Midwest and like some of the shit that like exists, and I think maybe even more impressive exists today. It's not like shit that you're talking about that like was 80s or 90s. Like shit that's going on right now is like. It's fucking impressive, man. Like there is like some serious fucking heat coming out of like this century.
Sugar Bog, 200 Stab Wounds, like all of them, dude. There's so many good bands coming out of Ohio. Not even to mention like everywhere around us.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's every state. There's like 5 you could name at least.
Yeah. It's wild. Like hardcore wise, like I love Last Gasp. I've like been homies with those fellows for a while. I got to fill in on like when they played Sweatfest.
Hell yeah,
that was absolutely so fucking sick playing drums with them. And Love Circus. You mentioned Rejoice. They just put out that LP that they put out, and it's just like, do we even play anymore, Jeremy? Like, God damn it. Tomb Sentinel put out a new EP. Do we even play anymore, Jeremy? God damn it. It's basic math.
We're less. Michigan just feels less.
Smile? Okay, somebody in the chat just mentioned Smile. That's another fucking band. Oh my God, dude.
No, Smile is a record from Crewneck, dude.
Oh,
incredible.
Okay.
Incredible.
It's a band too, though. From somewhere around Columbus.
Are they?
Yeah, it's like SMILE. I think it's like the DGR boys. I don't know who's all in the band, but that's like another band that they've been like promoting. They rip. I don't know who's all in or anything like that.
Yeah, a lot of those DGR bands are pretty cool, man.
Yeah. New Volcano EP. Oh boy, can't wait, dude. God damn it. That's what I'm saying. Like there's absolutely ripping stuff that's coming out of there too, and like a couple of years ago, like on like a separate thing that I was doing, I did like a best of Midwest and kind of reached out to like different bands too, and it's just like I felt like that only kind of touched like a tip of that iceberg where like in the past couple of years since doing that, like 2018, 2019, there's been shit that's come out and I'm like, man, I should have had this on that.
Bands pop up out of nowhere, like it's like I don't know. There's always a new band to check out around here. Always, dude. Like, and that, I feel like that's a good thing as far as like local music. You can't really get oversaturated. You know what I mean? The more the merrier.
Dude,
how I feel. As long as you're not like shitty.
For sure.
Jeremy, maybe we should do like a Fireside Chants comp. You know what I'm saying? Tomb Sentinel, of course.
We're reaching out right now in the chamber.
dude.
Yeah, we might put something together.
Let's talk. Let's talk, brothers.
Our drummer Keenan also writes. Like, he plays guitar and shit too. He has been doing a little bit of writing for Tomb Sentinel as well. So, like, between me and him, I think we have like 9 songs just ready to fucking go. But gotta make y'all wait for them.
Don't fucking don't talk shit now. Don't be.
See, yeah. Now we have to sit and wait around.
Whoa,
oh, this is cool. I wonder if there's new Tomb Sentinel tomorrow. No. This is cool. Hey, Jeremy, did you hear anything? No.
They're in a different tuning, so it's gonna be a minute. We're gonna ring the life out of the fucking songs we have right now before we start playing this new shit.
Dude,
what are you guys doing
standard?
Now? Oh,
drop B.
Drop B is what the recent EP's on.
Yeah.
But you're switching to B standard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because like I like standard. You riff. I mean, drop is cool, but like I feel like I've already got all the ideas for drop at this point that I have. You know what I mean? Like,
to me,
if I do it again, it's just gonna sound the same ish.
It's this thing, the fucking like drop chord on a standard guitar.
Yeah, dude. Like if you add your pinky in there, make like a power chord in the second, third string, like the fucking
crowbar chord.
Yeah, dude. The Lynch lick or whatever the fuck it's called.
But it's the fucking, you got the power chord, right?
Yes,
but
sir.
Then you get the fucking bar chord in there.
Wait, what? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. What are you doing?
No one cares.
Shredding. He's shredding.
but no.
This is drum brain, guitar brains. Drum brain, guitar brains. Hey, but this is beautiful, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to see what the fuck it was that you were doing. You just had one finger down on all strings, or what?
Don't worry about it. You're making me sound like a fucking moron now. You're killing it.
I don't have to help.
It's like this right now.
Brother, I don't have to help. Go back from 12 right back to 6. Go back on down, fella. I'm not helping.
Well. Anyway, I'm so stoked that we could have you on, that we could make something happen. I know it was a short notice thing, but I saw you had all this shit popping off. I wanted to get you on to give you some time to talk about it, but definitely, dude, like all the shit you're a part of, it's just in my mind just top notch. It's popping off.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, guys. That means a lot for real. Well, that's why I do this shit.
Sure. And keep doing it. I'm hoping to get those 9 songs sometime. No rush, because these 5 songs are still. I'm still ready to beat some ass to these 5. So.
I was to say,
let's be real. You'll probably will get 3 or 4, and then 3 years later, get 3 more of those.
Yeah. And hey, and you know what? I'm not greedy. I just, as long as you keep putting shit out, I'll be happy. Violent Nature. I'm stoked to get you a gig. You will be seeing these 2 faces at some of your shit, because like truly, like all of this shit rips. I'm so glad we could have you on. I hope all these shows you got coming up just pop off. Just keep up the good shit, dude. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure. Take it easy, guys.
All right.
Alrighty.
Take care, fellas. Have a good night.